Drake's darkest secret is about to detonate. For 622 days, one name haunted hip-hop like a ghost. A child, a lyric, a secret too radioactive to confirm. Until now. The mystery figure from Meet the Grams has returned, and she's going live tonight. Hip-hop will never sound the same. At first, everybody dismissed it as rap theatrics, just Kendrick throwing wild shots in the beef. Then the resemblance went viral. Then the industry connection surfaced. Then the silence became terrifyingly loud. For nearly 2 years, the internet obsessed over one question. Does Drake have a hidden daughter? The one referenced in the most brutal diss track of a generation. Now, the silence is shattering. The alleged daughter, long rumored but never confirmed, has stepped forward with a chilling promise. No previews, no leaks, just truth. And the entire gossip industry is holding its breath. Let me break this down because this whole situation is layered like crazy. It all started with Meet the Grams. That diss track didn't just hurt Drake's feelings, it allegedly exposed a secret he spent years burying. Kendrick Lamar went nuclear. He didn't just attack Drake's music or credibility. He spoke directly to a child, a little girl, a daughter Drake allegedly never claimed publicly. The lyrics hit different. Kendrick addressed her by name, told her she deserved better, painted a picture of abandonment and secrecy. The internet froze. Fans rewound those bars 1,000 times. Was this real, or was Kendrick just reaching for shock value? Because think about it, if this was fabricated, wouldn't Drake have immediately denied it? Wouldn't his team have released a statement? Instead, silence. Deafening, calculated silence. And that silence, that's what made people believe it was real. Now, let's talk about the girl herself. She started appearing on social media around the same time the beef was heating up. Her account was private at first, but fans online turned into full-blown investigators. They studied her features, compared her bone structure to Drake's, zoomed in on her eyes, her smile, her mannerisms. And folks online swear the resemblance is uncanny. Some even claim they found a birthmark in the exact same spot Drake has. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you add up all the pieces, it starts looking less like theory and more like confirmation. And it gets even crazier. People dug into her mother's background. Allegedly, this woman has ties to Universal Music Group, the same label Drake is signed to. She reportedly worked in A&R back in the day, which means she would have had direct access to artists, to studios, to Drake. Timelines started lining up. Fans cross-referenced Instagram posts, concert dates, industry events, and the connections, they're uncomfortable to ignore. One user on Twitter even created a full timeline with receipts, showing when Drake and this woman were allegedly in the same cities. The thread went viral, millions of views, and still, no denial from Drake's camp. But here's where it gets next level. The girl didn't just exist quietly in the background. She was active. Her social media activity around Drake was obsessive, liking every post, commenting on fan pages, sharing his music religiously. At first, people thought she was just a superfan, but then the tone shifted. Some of her captions felt personal, emotional, like she was trying to send a message without saying it outright. One post said, "Blood doesn't lie." Another said, "The truth always finds light." Fans screenshotted everything, archived it, because they knew something was coming. Then came the footage. A grainy clip allegedly filmed outside the embassy, Drake's fortress in Toronto. In the video, you can see a young girl entering the property with a woman who matches the description of the alleged mother. Fans slowed down the frames, enhanced the quality, zoomed into faces, and the resemblance to Drake? Disturbingly close. The internet exploded. Was this the smoking gun? Was this proof that Drake had been hiding a whole child? TMZ caught wind of it. The Shade Room posted it, Media Takeout ran with it, and still, radio silence from Drake's camp. For 622 days, this story simmered beneath the surface. It became the elephant in every room. Every interview Drake did, fans waited for the question. Every album release, people dissected lyrics for clues. But Drake never addressed it, not directly. And that calculated avoidance, that made the story grow stronger. because in the age of social media, silence is the loudest response. And people started asking, if this wasn't true, why wouldn't he just shut it down? One tweet could have ended it. One statement could have killed the rumor. But he chose silence, and that silence became its own evidence. Now, nearly 2 years later, the girl is breaking that silence herself. No more cryptic captions, no more hidden messages. She's announced a live tell-all, and she's not going to some random platform. She's bringing the heat, the Shade Room, TMZ, Hollywood Unlocked, Media Takeout. She tagged them all. This isn't a quiet confession. This is a media event. And that raises the biggest question of all. If this was just a rumor she wanted to squash, why summon the entire gossip industry? Why go live in front of millions? Why create this level of spectacle? Unless she's about to confirm everything. Now let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking into place. Why now? Why after 622 days of silence? What changed? To understand that, we gotta rewind to the beef itself. The Drake versus Kendrick war wasn't just about music. It was personal, it was vicious, it was career-threatening. Both artists went for the jugular, but Kendrick went deeper. He didn't just attack Drake's credibility as a rapper, he attacked his character as a man, as a father, and that's a wound that doesn't heal. Meet the Grams wasn't just a diss track, it was a psychological weapon. Kendrick structured it like a series of letters, one to Drake's son Adonis, one to Drake's parents, and one to the alleged hidden daughter. That third letter, that's the one that shook the culture, because Kendrick didn't just hint at her existence, he spoke to her. He told her she deserved love. He told her she wasn't a secret to be ashamed of. He painted Drake as a deadbeat, a man too concerned with image to acknowledge his own blood. And whether that's true or not, the damage was done, because once that narrative enters the public consciousness, it's almost impossible to erase. And here's the thing, insiders allege this wasn't about clout for the girl. It was about timing. Think about it. While Drake and Kendrick were destroying each other publicly, she stayed silent. She watched her alleged father's reputation get dragged through the mud. She watched millions of people debate her existence like she was a conspiracy theory. She became a punchline, a rumor, a what if, and she never said a word. That takes restraint. That takes patience. Or maybe that takes strategy. Because now, almost 2 years later, the beef is cooled. Drake and Kendrick have moved on. The headlines have shifted. The public's attention has wandered. But the question never died. It just went dormant. And dormant stories, those are the ones that explode when reignited. So by waiting this long, she's not just telling her truth, she's reclaiming the narrative. She's making sure that when she speaks, the entire world listens. And honestly, that's calculated as hell. But let's talk about what she's allegedly been dealing with behind the scenes. According to sources close to the situation, this girl has been living in limbo, not fully acknowledged, not fully hidden, existing in this gray zone where she's connected to one of the biggest stars on the planet but can't claim that connection publicly. Imagine that psychological weight. Imagine watching your alleged father live this lavish, celebrated life while you're stuck in the shadows. That kind of emotional neglect, that builds resentment, and resentment eventually demands a reckoning. There are also whispers that legal issues might be involved. Some folks online speculate that there's been a battle over child support, custody arrangements, non-disclosure agreements. If that's true, it would explain the silence. NDAs are powerful tools in the celebrity world. They keep secrets buried. But NDAs also have expiration dates or loopholes. And if this girl and her mother found a legal way out of their silence, this whole situation makes even more sense, because going public isn't just emotional, it's potentially financial. And in a world where truth is currency, her story is worth millions. Then there's the cultural angle. Hip-hop has always had a complicated relationship with fatherhood, from Tupac's absent father to Jay-Z's reconciliation with his dad's legacy to Drake's own journey with Adonis. These stories resonate. They humanize these larger-than-life figures, but they also expose hypocrisy. Drake built part of his brand on being a present, loving father to Adonis. He posted pictures, shared moments, showed the world he was different. But if there's another child he didn't claim, that's not just a scandal, that's a betrayal of the image he sold. And in the court of public opinion, that's unforgivable. And let's keep it real. This girl's mother allegedly has her own motivations. If she did work for UMG, if she does have industry connections, she knows how the game works. She knows how to time a story. She knows how to maximize impact. Some people will call that opportunistic. Others will call it smart. But either way, the result is the same. A story that was buried is about to become the biggest headline in hip-hop. And when that happens, everyone involved will be forced to respond. Drake, Kendrick, the label, the media, and the fans. So the motive isn't just about truth, it's about power, it's about control. It's about a young girl who allegedly spent her whole life being someone's secret, finally stepping into the light and saying, "I exist, and you can't ignore me anymore." That's not just brave, that's revolutionary. Because in a culture that loves to erase inconvenient truths, she's refusing to be erased. And that refusal, that's what's about to change everything. But here's the part that really hits different. This isn't just about rap beef or celebrity gossip. This is about a child, a little girl allegedly caught between two of the biggest artists in the world. A kid who never asked to be a punchline, who never chose to be a lyric in a diss track, who just wanted to exist and maybe be acknowledged by her father. Think about what that does to a person. Growing up knowing that one half of your identity is tied to someone the whole world celebrates, but he won't celebrate you. Watching him post pictures with another child, watching him talk about fatherhood in interviews, watching him build this image of being a loving dad while you're hidden. That's not just neglect, that's erasure. And erasure is a specific kind of violence. And the worst part? She had to watch the world turn her into a conspiracy theory. Fans debated her existence like she was Bigfoot. Memes were made, jokes were cracked. Her humanity was reduced to speculation. And through all of that, she stayed quiet. Maybe because she had to. Maybe because she was protecting herself. Or maybe she was just waiting for the right moment to take her power back. Now, imagine being her mother. Allegedly working in the same industry as the man who fathered your child, watching him rise to superstardom while you raise a daughter he won't claim, watching him pour love into another family while yours exists in the margins. That's a betrayal that runs deep. And it's not just personal, it's systemic. Because how many women in the industry have similar stories? How many children exist in the shadows of famous men who refuse to acknowledge them? This story is bigger than Drake. It's about accountability. It's about the power dynamics that allow men, especially powerful men, to pick and choose which parts of their lives they want to make public. It's about children who deserve better, who deserve to be seen, who deserve to have their truth told, not as a diss track lyric, but as their own voice. And if this girl really is about to speak her truth on a live platform, that's not just courageous, that's a reclaiming. She's taking the narrative that was weaponized against her and turning it into her own story. She's refusing to let Kendrick, Drake, or the internet define her. She's defining herself, and that's powerful. That's the kind of moment that transcends gossip, that becomes cultural, that forces everyone watching to ask themselves, whose side are we really on? Because at the end of the day, this isn't about who won the beef. This is about a child who allegedly lost years of her life to secrecy. And if her story is real, if even half of what's been speculated is true, then this isn't just Drake's reckoning, it's hip-hop's reckoning. It's a reminder that behind every bar, every diss, every controversy, there are real people, real pain, real consequences. And those consequences don't just disappear because the headlines move on. Let's dig even deeper into the evidence, because the more you look, the crazier this gets. The announcement itself was surgical. She didn't just drop a random Instagram story. She crafted a campaign. The teaser video was cinematic, black and white footage, slow motion, a voiceover that said her truth was never told. The production value alone told you this wasn't some impulsive decision. This was planned. This was calculated. And that level of intentionality, that's what separates a rumor from a revelation. The caption was even more deliberate. The secret they tried to bury, the truth that they couldn't silence. Notice the language. They, not he, not Drake, but they. That implies a broader conspiracy, a system working to keep her hidden. The label, the lawyers, the PR teams, the handlers. She's not just coming for Drake, she's coming for everyone who played a part in her erasure. And that makes this so much bigger than one man. Then there are the tags, the Shade Room, TMZ, Hollywood Unlocked, Media Takeout, All Hip Hop. These aren't just gossip blogs, these are institutions in black media. These are the platforms that break the stories mainstream outlets won't touch. By tagging them, she's signaling that this isn't a quiet confession, this is a public execution. She wants maximum visibility. She wants the story inescapable. And based on the engagement so far, she's getting exactly that. And let's talk about the comments under her announcement. Thousands of people chiming in, some supportive, some skeptical, some outright hostile. But the ones that stand out? The ones from people claiming they knew, alleged industry insiders saying, "We've been knew about this," supposed friends of the family saying, "Finally, she's speaking up," former UMG employees hinting that this was an open secret behind closed doors. Now, are all of these comments legitimate? Probably not, but the sheer volume of people claiming they had inside knowledge, that adds a layer of credibility, because if this was completely fabricated, would so many people be co-signing it? Then there's the reaction from Drake's camp, or rather the lack of reaction. You'd think if this was baseless, his team would have issued a cease and desist by now. They would have threatened legal action. They would have released a statement calling it defamation. But so far, nothing. Absolute silence. And in the world of celebrity crisis management, silence is a choice. It's either because they're preparing a nuclear response or because they know responding would only make it worse. Because how do you deny something without drawing more attention to it? How do you call someone a liar without giving their story more oxygen? And here's where it gets wild. Fans started pulling up old interviews, clips of Drake talking about fatherhood, moments where he seemed uncomfortable when asked about his personal life. One interview from 2019 resurfaced where the host asked, "Do you have any other kids we don't know about?" Drake laughed it off, said, "Nah, man, you know everything." But his body language? Tense. His eyes shifted. He touched his face, a classic tell for discomfort. Behavioral analysts on TikTok broke down the clip frame by frame, and their consensus? He was lying. Now, is that definitive proof? No, but it's another piece of the puzzle. And when you've got hundreds of pieces all pointing in the same direction, the picture becomes pretty damn clear. Let's also talk about Kendrick's silence, because he's been just as quiet as Drake, and that's interesting. If Meet the Grams was just a bluff, just a strategic lie to hurt Drake's image, wouldn't Kendrick have said something by now? Wouldn't he have clarified? But he hasn't. He let the track speak for itself. And by staying silent while this girl steps forward, he's implicitly validating her. He's letting the world connect the dots. And those dots, they're spelling out a truth that's about to reshape hip-hop history. There's also been chatter about a possible documentary, rumors that a major streaming platform is already in talks to acquire her story. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, somebody is allegedly preparing to write a check. Because if her story is real, if she can provide receipts, if she can sit down for a multi-hour interview and lay everything out, that's not just content, that's culture-shifting content. That's the kind of documentary that trends for weeks, that wins awards, that gets talked about for years. And if that's in the works, it explains why she's moving so carefully, why she's building anticipation, why she's making sure that when she finally speaks, everyone is listening. And let's not forget the timing. This is happening right as Drake is gearing up for a new album rollout, right as he's trying to reclaim his narrative after the Kendrick beef, right as he's rebuilding his image. And now this threatens to derail everything. Because how do you promote music when the headlines are screaming about a hidden child? How do you sell an album when the public is demanding answers about your personal life? You can't, not successfully. And if that's intentional, if this girl and her team timed it to maximum damage, then this isn't just truth-telling, this is warfare. So when you add it all up, the evidence, the silence, the timing, the production, the industry whispers, the behavioral analysis, the media tags, the documentary rumors, it all points to one conclusion. This isn't a hoax, this isn't cloud chasing, this is real, and the fallout is going to be catastrophic. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize this isn't the first time Drake's been caught up in secret child allegations. Remember Pusha T? Remember the story of Adonis? That diss track exposed Drake's son Adonis to the world before Drake was ready to reveal him. And what happened? Drake went silent for months, eventually confirmed it, eventually embraced fatherhood publicly. But the damage was done. His control over his own narrative was stripped. And here we are again. History repeating itself, except this time it's not another rapper exposing him, it's allegedly the child herself. And let's talk about the embassy for a second. Drake's Toronto mansion has always been shrouded in mystery. It's his fortress, his sanctuary, the place where he controls everything. But that leaked footage allegedly showing a young girl entering the property, that shattered the illusion of control. Because if fans can get that close, if cameras can catch that much, what else has been seen? What else has been recorded? And more importantly, who else has footage they haven't released yet? That's the terrifying part for Drake. Because once one leak happens, it opens the floodgates. Suddenly, everyone with a phone and a grudge becomes a potential whistleblower. Then there's the issue of Drake's public persona versus his private reality. He spent years cultivating this image of vulnerability, the sensitive rapper, the one who wears his heart on his sleeve, the one who admits his flaws in his music. But if he's been hiding a whole child, that's not vulnerability, that's performance. And fans hate feeling manipulated. They hate realizing that the intimacy they felt with an artist was one-sided, that the confessions were curated, that the transparency was a marketing strategy. And if this story confirms that, Drake's fan base might fracture in ways he can't repair. There are also whispers about other potential children. Online forums have been speculating for years about various women who've allegedly had relationships with Drake, women who've hinted at pregnancies, women who've gone silent after rumors started circulating. Now, are all of these rumors true? Probably not. But the fact that they exist, that they're so widespread, that they keep resurfacing, that speaks to a pattern. And patterns are hard to ignore, especially when one of those patterns is now allegedly stepping into the spotlight with proof. And let's not forget the financial implications. If this girl is confirmed as Drake's daughter, that opens up legal questions, child support, inheritance, custody, back payments. Lawyers are probably already circling, because if she's been excluded from financial support all these years, she's owed. And given Drake's net worth, we're talking about generational money, millions, maybe tens of millions. This isn't just a personal scandal, it's a potential financial reckoning, and that adds a whole other layer of stakes to this story. Then there's the impact on Drake's legacy. He's one of the best-selling artists of all time. Multiple Grammys, chart records, cultural influence. But legacies are fragile. They're built on public perception, and public perception can crumble overnight. Just ask R. Kelly, ask Kanye, ask any artist who went from untouchable to radioactive because of personal scandals. Drake's not immune. And if this story breaks the way it's looking like it will, his name will forever be associated with this controversy. Every article about him will mention it. Every retrospective will include it. And that stain, that doesn't wash out. There's also the question of what happens after the live stream. Does Drake finally respond? Does he deny it? Admit it? Does he release a statement? A song? Does he address it in an interview? Or does he continue the silence? And what about Kendrick? Does he speak on it? Does he take a victory lap? Or does he stay quiet and let the chaos unfold? And the girl herself, what happens to her after this? Does she become a media figure, a celebrity in her own right? Does she get book deals, podcast interviews? Or does she retreat back into privacy after saying her piece? All of these questions are swirling, and the answers will define the next chapter of this saga. So yeah, this isn't just about one announcement, it's about a movement, a cultural moment, a tipping point, and we're all watching it happen in real time. History being written, legacies being challenged, secrets being detonated. And the craziest part? We still don't even know the full story yet, but we're about to.
And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one incident or one family's drama. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in power dynamics. For decades, celebrities controlled their narratives. They decided what the public knew and when. They had PR teams, lawyers, NDAs, and the full machinery of the entertainment industry protecting their secrets. But social media changed that. It gave ordinary people a platform, a voice, a way to backcast the gatekeepers and speak directly to millions. And that's what makes this moment so significant. This alleged daughter isn't going through traditional media. She's not given an exclusive to Oprah or sitting down with Gayle King. She's going direct, live stream, no edits, no corporate filter, just raw, unscripted truth. And that's terrifying for people in power, because it means they can't control the message anymore. They can't spin it, they can't bury it. The truth, whatever it is, will be out there, permanent, undeniable, and the public will decide what to believe. The bigger conversation here is about accountability. How many powerful men have children they don't claim? How many women have been silenced with money and legal threats? How many kids grow up in the shadows of famous fathers who pretend they don't exist? This story is shining a light on that systemic problem and is forcing the industry to confront uncomfortable truths. Because if this girl can speak up, how many others will follow? How many other secrets are one live stream away from exploding? There's also the ethical question of using children in rap beef. Kendrick brought this girl into the public consciousness through a diss track. He used her alleged existence as a weapon. Was that fair? Was that justified? Or did he weaponize a child for the sake of a beef? These are the questions the culture needs to wrestle with, because if we're going to hold Drake accountable for allegedly hiding a child, we also have to hold Kendrick accountable for allegedly exposing a child. Both actions have consequences, and both deserve scrutiny. And let's talk about the fans, because we play a role in this too. We're the ones who consume the gossip, who share the rumors, who turn real people into entertainment. We create the demand for these stories. And that demand incentivizes people to expose their pain publicly, to turn their trauma into content, to monetize their suffering. So while we're all waiting for this girl to go live, we also have to ask ourselves, are we supporting her? Or are we just consuming her? And is there even a difference anymore? This moment is also a warning for anyone with online fame. The more you put yourself out there, the more you chase clout, the bigger the target on your back. Your secrets will come out. Your past will resurface, and when it does, the internet won't be kind. The culture has no mercy. It chews people up and spits them out. And the only way to survive is to be honest from the start, to control your narrative before someone else does. Drake allegedly learned that lesson with Adonis, but clearly he didn't learn it well enough. So what we're witnessing here isn't just about Drake, Kendrick, or one girl's story. It's about the future of celebrity, the future of privacy, the future of accountability. It's about a generation that refuses to let powerful people hide behind their power, a generation that demands transparency, that believes every voice deserves to be heard, and that's willing to destroy anyone who tries to silence the truth. Welcome to the new era, where secrets don't stay buried, where silence is permission, and where the truth, no matter how painful, always finds a way out. So let's talk about what happens next, because the countdown is active, the anticipation is at a fever pitch, and the entire industry is bracing for impact. When this girl goes live, there are really only 3 possible outcomes, and all of them are explosive. Scenario 1, she confirms everything. She lays out her story, provides receipts, shows documents, maybe even plays voice messages or text screenshots. She proves beyond a doubt that Drake is her father and that he's been hiding her for years. If that happens, Drake's career doesn't just take a hit, it potentially ends. At least the version of Drake we know. He'd be forced to rebuild from scratch, apologize, make amends, face legal consequences. And even then, the public might not forgive him, because hiding a child in this era of accountability, that's unforgivable. Scenario 2, she walks it back. She admits the whole thing was exaggerated, says she was caught up in internet speculation, denies being Drake's daughter, apologizes for the confusion. If that happens, she gets dragged, obliterated. The internet will turn on her instantly. She'll be labeled a clout chaser, a liar, a manipulator. And Drake, he emerges victorious, vindicated. The conspiracy theories die, his reputation stabilizes. But even then, the doubt will linger, because once a story takes root this deeply, it's almost impossible to fully erase it. Scenario 3, and this is the wildest one. She tells a story that's more complicated than anyone expected. Maybe Drake is her father, but there are reasons for the secrecy. Maybe there's a custody battle. Maybe there's a legal agreement. Maybe her mother didn't want her public.
Maybe Drake tried to be involved but was blocked. Maybe this whole situation is way more nuanced than the internet's black and white narrative allows. And if that's the case, everyone looks bad. Drake for the secrecy, Kendrick for exploiting it, the mother for potentially using her daughter as a pawn, and the internet for turning a complicated family situation into entertainment. But here's what's really going to be fascinating. Drake's response. Does he get ahead of it? Does he release a statement before she goes live, trying to control the damage? Or does he wait, let her speak, and then respond with his own truth? Or does he just stay silent, let his lawyers handle it, ignore it completely, and hope it blows over? Each option has risks, each option has consequences, and the choice he makes will define the next phase of his career. And what about Kendrick? Does he say anything? Does he address it? Or does he just sit back, watch the chaos, and let everyone realize that Meet the Grams was never a diss track, it was a prophecy? Because if this girl confirms the story, Kendrick doesn't just win the beef, he becomes a Lamar, the rapper who didn't just destroy his rival lyrically, but exposed a truth so deep that it changed hip-hop forever. There's also the possibility that this whole thing gets shut down before it even happens. Legal teams swoop in, the live stream gets blocked, platforms refuse to host it, lawyers threaten lawsuits, NDAs get enforced. Because if this story is real, there are powerful people who don't want it told, and powerful people have powerful tools. So the fact that this is even getting this far, that tells you she and her team have thought this through. They've got legal protection, they've got evidence locked down, they're prepared for the war that's about to erupt. And honestly, no matter what happens, this is already a victory for her. Because for 622 days, she was voiceless, powerless, hidden. And now, the entire world is waiting to hear what she has to say. That's power. That's control. And that's something no one can take away from her. Whether people believe her or not, whether Drake responds or not, she reclaimed her narrative. She forced the conversation. And that's revolutionary. The countdown is ticking. The blogs are refreshing. The timeline is on fire. And in a matter of hours, one live stream is about to either confirm or collapse one of the biggest conspiracy theories in hip-hop history. Drake's alleged hidden daughter is stepping into the light, and when she does, nothing will be the same. This is the moment the internet has been waiting for since Meet the Grams dropped, the moment Kendrick hinted at, the moment Drake tried to avoid, the moment that could redefine legacies, expose secrets, and force the entire industry to confront how it treats women and children behind closed doors. This isn't just gossip anymore. This is history, and we're all about to witness it in real time. So here's what I need from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think she's about to shock the entire rap world and confirm everything? Or do you think this is the most dangerous clout play ever attempted? Do you believe Drake has been hiding a daughter all these years? Or do you think this is internet conspiracy gone too far? And if she does confirm it, what happens to Drake's career? Does he survive this? Or is this the beginning of the end? And listen, this story is still unfolding. More details are dropping by the hour, more clues are surfacing, more people are talking, and I'm going to be covering every single twist, turn, and revelation as it happens. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications because you do not want to miss what's coming next. This is about to get even crazier. I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me through this insane story. Your comments, your theories, your support, that's what makes this community what it is. So keep the conversation going. Share this video. Tag someone who needs to see it. Let's make sure everyone knows what's about to go down. Stay locked in, stay alert, stay ready. Because tonight, hip-hop history is about to be rewritten. The truth is about to explode. And when the dust settles, nothing will ever sound the same again. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, in the age of social media, secrets don't stay buried. The truth always finds light. Always.